Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Did You Know episode. This episode will be featuring Kalista. As usual, if you guys end up enjoying this one, don't forget to hit that like button, but let us move on right into the abilities. Did you know that Kalista's passive dash distance from an auto attack is based on your level of boots? So with no boots whatsoever, your dash will be 250 units. If you have level 1 boots, so just the boots of speed, it will be 300 units. And once you finally end up upgrading those boots, your dash distance will be 350 units. Her dash can also be used to go over thin walls either through using her auto attack or just simply using your Q. As of somewhat of a recent patch, her passive also makes her auto attacks deal 90% AD physical damage, and this also applies to her critical strikes, dealing 90% of the critical strike damage. Kalista's Q will pass through all units upon death, and it will take the stacks on the final unit and transfer them to the final target. So in this case, the 2 stacks I put on the large minion get transferred over to Sivir. However, if 2 minions had 2 stacks each and I were to kill both of them with Q and then have the Q hit Sivir, she would still only have 3 stacks on her, which to me is an odd interaction. Using Kalista's W, if her Oathsworn ally gets a kill on an enemy using the W damage to get the final blow, then Kalista will still get credit for that kill, such as on a minion for the gold or a champion for the gold and kill credit. A very interesting interaction that I covered in my League of Myths episode is that Kalista's Sentinel's vision grants assists or kills if the target dies shortly after being revealed. Like in this example you see right here, I had no direct interaction with Sivir except for my Sentinel revealing her. The tooltip for Rend is somewhat incorrect, as it states that it can be stacked infinitely, though the max stacks on a target is in fact 254, meaning that the damage it will do at max stacks is as you see on the numbers on the screen, being from rank 1 to 5 and the numbers in the brackets being the AD scaling. Kalista's Q ability, her E ability, and also her ultimate can all be blocked by Spell Shield, but Spell Shield cannot block a Sentinel from revealing you. Kalista's ultimate saves a target from any CC and also any potential damage that was going to be taken by that target, effectively being one of the best ways to save an ally. Did you know that if Kalista dies while she has a target within her from her ultimate, that target can still fire out or wait until the duration runs out, effectively being invisible for a few seconds. And on top of that, Kalista can use her ultimate and then TP away with her target, effectively transferring 2 champions across the map with only 1 summoner teleport. Let's talk a bit about Kalista's W Sentinels. So these things have some interesting interactions. Whenever you send out a Sentinel, there usually is a return point from the location that you actually use the Sentinel. So for instance, the return point in this example is where I'm standing currently in the middle of mid lane. But you're gonna notice that this Sentinel ends up turning around to go back to the Baron Pit much sooner than where I'm standing. This is because if the Sentinel can see the return point 1400 units away from where it currently is, then this will cause it to turn around and go back to its other location. However, if you were to cast the Sentinel from within a bush, then the ghost will always return into the bush before turning around due to not technically being able to see the return point since it is within a bush. But speaking of 1400 units, it also has a minimum movement of 1400 units, so if you were to cast it right beside you, it will still move that 1400 units away from you before turning around. On top of this, a Sentinel of course requiring 2 hits to die from a champion, if you were to hit it 1 time, the Sentinel will still continue on its path, however it will move at a very slow pace. And did you know that minions cannot attack the Sentinel, and it seems as though towers are also not able to attack the Sentinel. Alright guys, let's go into some cool facts and lore about Kalista. Kalista was designed by a familiar name, Certainly T, who also made Darius, Thresh, Yasuo, and helped with Zyra. Yasuo, Kalista, Gnar, and even the game mode Earth or Ultra Rapid Fire were both leaked by a user on Reddit who's named YRenektonY weeks before their release, but this user's account has now been terminated. Kalista is of course centered around vengeance, and this could have been inspired from the Furies from Greek mythology, which are 3 female spirits of vengeance that punish the evil and wicked in the underworld. Her name could have also been taken from Kalista, also from Greek mythology, who was someone that got tricked by Zeus into breaking her vow of abstinence and was transformed into a bear as punishment, which fits well with the overall betrayal and vengeance theme of Kalista. And Kalista's champion title, the Spear of Vengeance, seems very similar to Varys' title, the Arrow of Retribution. An interesting thing is the fact that a year before Kalista was released, a Reddit thread with a fan-made champion concept appeared that is very similar to the general idea and concept behind the current Kalista. As mentioned earlier, with the AD ratios on Kalista's E at max stacks, it already actually surpasses all other abilities in terms of AD ratios at only 14 stacks at rank 5 Ren. Goes to show at how strong this ability can really be. I don't usually like touching on dance similarities, but Kalista's dance is referenced to Oberyn Martell's spear dance from Game of Thrones, which I think is pretty cool. A trivial yet cool fact is that the Champion Spotlight videos created by Riot used the new Summoner's Rift map for the very first time in Kalista's Spotlight. Kalista does not have any abilities that scale from ability power, along with Darius, Draven, Garen, Olaf, Riven, Talon, Vayne, and Zed. And on top of that, she is the third champion to have a unique item to herself, along with Victor and his Hex Core, and Rengar and his Bone Tooth necklace back when it used to be in his inventory. Let's go into Kalista's lore. So Kalista is an eternal spirit of retribution who possesses a cold, burning hatred for all betrayers, deceivers, and traitors. When Kalista was a human, she was a legendary warrior that was betrayed and killed by those she trusted most. Now she's an entity that can be invoked to exact vengeance, but the supplicant's soul becomes forfeit and bound to Kalista forever. And it is also said that for each new soul that pledges to her, she gets stronger, making her forget her human life more and more, but getting stronger and stronger as an avatar of vengeance. The teaser to Kalista was one of the more interesting ones. Several champions had a fog appear on their official League of Legends page due to these champions betraying someone in their lives. And since Kalista is all about vengeance, it showed that Kalista has her sights on these champions specifically. So one of these champions is Cassiopeia, due to her betrayal of Sivir within Shurima. The second champion is Hecarim, who apparently deceived the ruined king of the Shadow Isles. Following that, we have LeBlanc, who is all about deceiving and betraying people. Then the unnamed clan Lysandre came from was betrayed by the Watchers, which then put her as the next person. Following her is Twisted Fate, due to him betraying Graves to gain his current power that he possesses. Xerath is another champion that Kalista has her sights on, due to him betraying Azir during a ritual and gaining the power for himself and destroying Shurima. And finally we have Zed because he betrayed his whole clan and ended up killing his own master. The other questionable champion that was not included in this teaser is Warwick, since he also betrayed Soraka in his lore, though the theory as to why his page did not have the fog was because Soraka is too noble to think of revenge against Warwick. Apparently Kalista knew the ruined king from the Shadow Isles, the one who's also had his name used in the naming of the Blade of the Ruined King. She is also affiliated with the Shadow Isles herself, though she dislikes many of the people from there, especially the ones that have betrayed others, such as Hecarim. Her two quotes,
Kalista. Yes, that was our name. We had a name once.
are references to very similar quotes from Smeagol from the Lord of the Rings franchise. She also has special quotes to many of the champions that she is hunting.
No such snake shall go unpunished. Your duplicity ends here, Sandra. Twisted Fate, your hour approaches.
Blood Moon Kalista has her wear a mask that resembles the Hanya, used in Japanese theater that represents a jealous female demon or serpent. Apparently this skin represents Kalista as she would have been seen in the Ionian culture. And finally, she shares this Blood Moon theme with Akali, Elise, Shen, Thresh, and Zillion. Championship Kalista was made to celebrate the 2015 World Championships that are currently happening. And she shares this theme with Riven, Shyvana, and Thresh. Alright guys, that unfortunately does mark the end of this episode of the Did You Know series featuring Kalista. If you did enjoy, please definitely hit that like button and share it with your friends. Also definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out my other videos as well from this series or just any other videos in general. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. But thank you all so much for watching and your support. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you for the next video. Peace.